Okay, so what damage was done by this sell on Friday? What damage did this do to bullish control? Hey guys, I'm gonna speed run a market outlook update for you. Starting with the higher time frames here, we have the weekly chart. Bulls in full control on the higher time frames, expansion above the prior all-time high, just ripping out of this weekly demand zone down here. Full high time frame control is with the bulls. Okay, looking at the monthly candle, this is an expansion candle at the moment, and what that means is that it is an up candle above a prior up candle. Okay, so green candle here or blue on my charts, and we are above that high. We are in expansion actively in the month of May. Now, does that tell us that price is going to continue? Does that tell us price isn't going to continue? No, it tells us that the current environment as of right now is bullish expansion on the higher time frames. And so within that, I'm going to lean more bullish. I'm going to err on the side of being too bullish, which sounds a little bit counterintuitive. Okay, if you are an investor, okay, do I want to buy and hold? Do I want to be opening a ton of long-term buy and hold positions up here? No, not necessarily. As an investor, no. As a trader, however, our job is not to buy at a discount. Our job as a trader is not to buy and hold at discounts. That is the job of an investor. Okay, as traders, our job is to align with the market, align with market control, because our time frame is so much more narrow. Okay, we're talking about trades lasting from minutes to hours to days, rather than years and decades. Okay, so while it feels a little bit odd to be bullish up here, right? You hear the saying, buy low, sell high. As a trader, okay, it's perfectly fine to buy high and sell higher. We want to align ourselves with control until that control changes. Okay, so now that we've established that the higher time frame control, the higher time frame context is still bullish expansion, let's jump over here to the futures chart. This is the S&P futures ES, and let's look at the mid and lower time frames. Now, has control been dented on these time frames? Well, looking at the 4 hour, no. We'll come back to that in just a second here. On the 1 hour, okay, 1 hour and below, we did see that flip down, and that actually allowed us to participate in an intraday short on Friday, okay, with 1 hour control down, this nice retrace, corrective retrace to supply, and then a 15-minute reversal back in line with that 1 hour control, right? So aligning two time frames here, taking the entry on the lower time frame back in line with the time frame above it. Okay, 15 and 1 hour kind of correlated here. Nice tight stops for a short into Friday's close. Okay, so on the low time frames, 1 hour and below, we do have a control shift, and we did take advantage of that. However, okay, when we back out and we zoom out and go look at the 4 hour situation heading into this week, no damage yet. Okay, so mid time frames and above are still bullish. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, we had expansion. Okay, we were above the prior high, expanding. Okay, that expansion has since turned off. Okay, we saw that low time frame shift, all of that. So in these situations, my midterm approach is I'm looking for the reaction at liquidity and demand below back in line with the time frame above it. Okay, so on the 4 hour here, the places that I'll be looking, starting with Wednesday's low. Okay, right here, looking for the reaction here. If buyers step in early this week with a quick reaction, something like this, sharp and aggressive, showing failure for bears to expand lower, showing buyers willing and aggressive to step in. Okay, I'll be looking for a rather quick move back towards all-time highs. Doesn't have to be all in one day, but a rather aggressive move resuming the upwards trend. Okay, possible running flat structure here. Okay, so quick reaction on Monday would kind of set the tone, and I would be looking right back up. Now let's say that buyers don't step in, or they step in weakly with no real aggression, no sustained trend, something like this, choppy, and then price falls back through. This, or just straight up no reaction, right? Slicing through, gap down below, whichever. Okay, either of those would have me turn my attention down here. Okay, down below 73.30 to 72.80ish. Okay, more demand down here, and now in this case, we could see a little bit of balance, some chop, right? Maybe we get a little bit of bounce. If that fails, something like this, then we get a day or two of consolidation before coming into this zone, right? Obviously a rough sketch. I'm no artist here, but something like this, a little bit of a longer retrace, corrective retrace into this zone, but I will still be looking for that reversal back up with higher time frame control. And in the meantime, we could trade, within this intraday. But this is my view of the 4 hour, okay? Demand here on the 15-minute liquidity, 4 hour demand below, defending that bullish control on the 4 hour, defending the overall control here on the midterm, okay? So those are the two areas that I'll be watching. If price gets through both of those, if we get through about 72.70 here on ES, okay, then we can zoom out and start talking about a more serious retrace, a more higher time frame retrace. Okay, so on the daily, okay, back on the prior all-time high, we have daily demand down here, okay, some liquidity. At that point, I could start the discussion about a more serious retrace, maybe a multi-week retrace, etc. But that only comes into play, okay, if bulls fail to defend their midterm control. All right, so I'm going to start with watching, one at a time here. I'm going to watch this area on Monday, see if/what kind of reaction we get. Is it sharp? Is it aggressive? If so, it's bullish to me. Okay, if it's dull or lacking, my attention will shift to a little bit of a midterm retrace here down to sweep that May 7th low. Okay, so Monday will set the tone, and I will go from there. That's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Have a great week. Good luck.